Alright, so assembling the 240. You will need to assemble the 240 and you're going to need to perform a functions check on it. Once again, you will have 3 minutes to accomplish this. That is a lot of time. Taking it nice and slow, you can get it accomplished however you feel. Once again, when assembling it, for ease, either do it front to rear or rear to front. I personally prefer front to rear as the opposite of the way I disassembled it. So I'm going to start with my barrel assembly and my heat shield. I'm going to place my heat shield onto my barrel, and I'm going to place my barrel on the receiver. I'm going to line it up, slide it back, keeping that handle at the 12 o'clock. Once it's in, you're going to push it to the side till you hear audible clicks. Once those audible clicks come in, it's locked into place. If you are having trouble getting your gas regulator on, you need to make sure that your weapon is oriented in line with your bipod. Otherwise, it can line up and get a little iffy, and it's going to be hard for you to make sure that your gas regulator is locked in, and it won't let you lock your barrel into place. Once your barrel is completely locked into place, then we can go through the rest of it. We're moving up to the middle of the receiver, which we're going to go through our feed tray and our feed tray cover. We're going to take our feed tray, we're going to place it right where it came from. Next up, we're going to put the feed tray cover on. You're going to grab the feed tray cover, slide it right in place, bring it down right over the top of it, line it up and give it a good whack. Once that's set, you're going to take your feed tray cover pin, you're going to put it in and slide it all the way through. Your feed tray and your feed tray cover are on completely. Now we're going to move to the back. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my trigger assembly on. This is going to slow things up a little bit, but it is going to make sure that you cannot charge the weapon when it's in the safe. So at this point, my trigger is on. I'm going to grab my bolt assembly, an operating rod. I'm going to place it into and line it up with the grooves. There's grooves that line this whole part of the bolt needs to be extended. I like to keep my hands underneath it for that reason. Until it is in, you're going to feel resistance. Once you feel resistance, you need to grab the trigger and squeeze the trigger. Let the bolt go all the way over until it seats completely down inside the weapon, and you can release the trigger. At this point, I'm going to take my drive rod, I'm going to place it in right behind. There's a groove in the back of the bolt that it fits into, and like I said, there is a detent on the top of that. I'm going to push that in and catch it on the back of the weapon. It should not extend past the base. Then I will take my back, I'm going to place it on, drop it down till it seats in. You should hear an audible click. You've completely assembled this weapon. At this point now you're going to perform a functions check. Functions check, you're going to make sure the weapon is on fire. It is clearly on fire in this case. The F is showing. If it wasn't, I would move it over to that position. I'm going to lock the bolt to the rear by pulling the charging handle all the way to the rear. I'm going to push the charging handle forward. At this point, I'm going to place the weapon on safe. I moved it from fire to safe, and I will squeeze the trigger. Now, when you squeeze the trigger, bolt's not going to go forward. And then I'm going to grab the weapon, I'm going to place it on fire. I will place the weapon on fire before I pull the charging handle to the rear. This is a sequence violation if you do not do that. Once I've pulled the charging handle to the rear and I'm holding it, I will squeeze the trigger, ride the bolt forward, and you're done.